Hey folks, it's Rob, and welcome back. We're continuing our series today on the Monstrous Compendium Appendix for the Mystara setting. It's episode 35, if you believe it. We're on page 96, and we're going to do 96 and 97 today, which is a two-pager monster entry for the Shapeshifter. We get four sub-entries on that, so, we will have stuff to talk about. Um, this is, unfortunately, once again, quite faded the artwork because these colors are much richer and deeper in the book in my hand. Uh, the hair is interestingly blue, and I would say they have a fair bit more melanin in the picture here, but everything's just faded. You can see across the board everything's just paler. Um, they're shapeshifters, so I mean, an image of a shapeshifter is going to be not necessarily super relevant. Uh, and obviously these are tricky things to use in the sense of like they will be tricking somebody. They meant to fool shapeshifters routinely are there to fool people, like doppelgangers, right? Doppelgangers replace people by looking like them or like other people. But let's get into the stuff. We got our four monsters. So we have Adaptor, Metamorph, Polymar, and Randara. I think the best way to do this is we're going to run down each one. Um, so Adaptor, climate terrain any, frequency very rare. They operate in a cell. Activity cycle any. Diet omnivore. They are geniuses. 17 to 18 intelligence. That's really high. Treasure type V, which probably indicates maybe a magic item in their lair. And again, if you have a creature monster with magic weapons, with magic items, you may want to consider why they aren't using those magic items, right? Um, alignment any, number appearing 1d6, armor class 9, movement 12, hit dice 8. To hit AC 0 is 13. They get 2 attacks, and their damage per attack is by weapon but plus 4. Special attacks see below, special defenses see below. They don't have magic resistance. They are size medium, 5 to 6 feet tall, people sized. Champion morale at 15 and 2,000 XP. Uh, Metamorph. Their climate terrain is temperate mountains and forests. Frequency rare. Organization clan. Activity cycle any. They are omnivores. They are highly intelligent, 13 to 14. Treasure type W. They are chaotic neutral, however, which basically is quite often interpreted as just strongly selfish, right? Narcissist, practically. Uh, number appearing 1d20, armor class 5, movement 12, hit dice 3 plus 1. To hit AC 017, number attacks 1 by weapon. No special attacks, but special defense is shape changing. Magic resistance is nil. They are medium 6 to 7 feet tall, so somewhat larger in appearance. Morale average, however, at 10. So, they can be disrupted and run off, but potentially. Uh, XP value 270 for the regular Metamorph, but 650 for a leader. Polymar are found in any climate terrain. They are rare. They are in packs. Active cycle any. They are omnivores. Low intelligence, 5 to 7. Treasure type B in their lair. They are lawful neutral. 1d3 appear. Armor class 9. Movement 6, so kind of slow actually. Hit dice 10. To hit AC 011. Number of attacks 3, which is a d6 each for each pseudopod. No special attacks, no special defense, no magic resistance. Small to large in size. That is 3 foot to 10 foot across. Steady morale at 11 and worth 2,000 XP as well. And finally, the Randara is found in any climate terrain. They are very rare. They are solitary. They're active, however, at any time. They are carnivores, which are also highly intelligent at 13 to 14. Treasure type F, but times 3. So normally you can roll the chart 3 times, or you can just roll the chart once and multiply it by 3. It's up to you. I prefer to roll the chart 3 times just because things can get highly variable on the single roll multiplying it by 3, but you do you. Alignment neutral evil. So, fairly independent, but again, a selfish alignment. Possibly depends on how you run evil and goodness, in your campaign. In basic Dungeons and Dragons, is basically either lawful, neutral, or chaotic, and so you have this law v chaos access, but you don't have a good v evil chaos access, right? Number appearing 1 for a solitaire, that makes sense. Armor class 0. Movement 18, it's fast. Hit dice 14. To hit AC 07. Number of attacks is per chosen form. Damage per attack is also per chosen form. Special attacks, spell use. Okay, it's a spellcaster as well. Special defenses, it can only be hit by +1 or better weapons. No magic resistance, however. They are size small to medium, 2 to 7 feet tall. Steady morale at 11, so you could break its morale. And 8,000 XP. Let's get into the text. Numerous varieties of creatures are able to significantly alter their shapes. These range from lycanthropes, such as werewolves and were-jaguars, to amorphous creatures such as the scamille and other oozes, jellies, and puddings. Certain species also exist whose main feature is the ability to change shape. This ability is common across the species. It cannot be passed on to others. It is the species' primary method of attack and defense, and it is a conscious effort of the creature's part. Creatures meeting these criteria are collectively known as shapeshifters. In addition to the creatures listed here, the doppelganger and mimic, described in the Monstrous Manual, are shapeshifters. So yes, if you're like, where's the chameleon? It's a base monster. It's not here. Just like the mimic's not in this book, but the chameleon is, right? Adapter. Adapters are an ancient, intelligent race found on all planes of existence. They are a withdrawn race, shunning contact with others and focusing instead on gathering information and exchanging it amongst themselves. In their natural state, adapters are shiny, gold, muscular, androgynous humanoids with blank oval faces. Adapters can change into the form of any creature of human or demi-human size. Unlike doppelgangers, they cannot turn into duplicates of specific people. Their superior intellect allows adapters to know any language they are exposed to. Each is fluent in Common and several other languages. Combat. Adapters are skilled at swordplay, attacking twice per round, with a +4 bonus to attack and damage rolls when using swords. Adapters favor long swords and rapiers. The powers of the adapters are formidable. For a limited time, they become immune to magical attacks once exposed. For example, a fireball would cause full damage to an adapter, or half, if a saving throw is successful. The first time, the adapter is hit by a fireball, but for a short time, the adapter is immune to all magical fire attacks. The adaptation disappears in 1d10 turns. Now remember, a turn is a full 10 minutes. If not triggered again. An adapter may enjoy simultaneous immunities. So if you hit it with a fire attack, hit it with a magic missile, hit it with a cold attack, eventually, throw Melf's acid arrow at it, eventually it's going to be immune to all of it. For a period of time, admittedly. With 8 hit dice, maybe you would have killed it by the time you cycled through everything, if you had it all available to you. But, it's not saying immune to fireballs, it's saying immune to magic fire. So keep that in mind. You get like your burning hands, various other fire spells out there because, evocation's a thing. Um, in fact, in second edition Dungeons and Dragons, uh, you would possibly build an evoker, right? Focusing on schools of magic and the spells that they contain, you would limit the number of schools of magic you could access spells from, but have increased ability inside them. So, but with basic, which is our home, uh, no such thing really exists. But there are definitely multiple fire spells and other things that can come up. Say, for example, like you could have a flaming sword in the party. That would be magic fire. Habitat/society. Adapters are mysterious, scholarly people. Each member has more accumulated knowledge than any sage. However, their philosophy demands that they not pass any great knowledge to other cultures. Adapters are natural observers, and their conversations with individuals or small groups are limited to discussions of philosophy or asking questions about the people and land around them. If people are polite, an adapter may answer a single question for them: background on an obscure magical item, perhaps, or information on an old lost ruin. The origin of the adapters has long been lost. The few human and elven sages who know of their existence believe that the adapters themselves are searching for answers to their origins. Adapters gather in small groups devoted to a certain area of knowledge. These groups, called cells, usually have little commerce with other cells of adapters. Ecology. Adapters are non-intrusive creatures who do their best to not interfere with the natural state of places that they visit. Adapters may have odd and fantastic devices beyond the comprehension of those they encounter. Examples might include flame tubes, transducers, or energy neutralizers. The precise effect of these and other devices is left to the DM. Yeah, they may have like lost tech items. Because Blackmore was a thing, and even though, we're going to get well off the page here, but the Blackmore civilization was saved into the Hollow World, but their technology doesn't work right? So it's still just basically it only works the way it's expected to work at all inside the Blackmore, like, I'm going to, for lack of a better word, call it an enclosure, because that's kind of what it is. It's like a zoo in the Hollow World in some ways. Um, but if you remove the items from their civilization, they don't work. Now, Blackmore did exist on the surface of Mystara thousands of years ago. And during the Great Catastrophe, that's when all their civilization got moved to the Hollow World. And really anything that existed of their technology from before then would still work because it's technology. And technology generally works in the Mystara setting. It's just that all the saved Blackmore civilization people have been modified in a certain way so that their technology doesn't work. It's all just like play. It's all cargo cult play game shit. Sorry, I just swore. My apologies. I try not to do that here. Uh, anyhow, we'll carry on. I'm on a huge tangent. I don't need to be. Metamorph. Metamorphs are an ancient species of shapeshifter distantly related to humans. They exist in harmony with nature and creatures close to nature, doing their part to preserve the natural balance. A metamorph's natural form is that of a handsome human, male or female, though its ears are slightly pointed and its eyes are pure white. So that's what we have pictured here on page 96. All this is described on page 97. They have, faintly pointy ears. Not even necessarily faintly. But yeah, they fit the description. Metamorphs speak fluent Common and have most, 90%, speak the languages of elves and halflings. Combat. Normally, metamorphs are non-aggressive, choosing to shapeshift and withdraw rather than engage in violent confrontation. When pressed, however, they fight seriously. Metamorphs favor druidic weapons such as daggers, clubs, spears, slings, and sickles. They do not wear armor, as this becomes useless during shapeshifting. If 10 or more metamorphs are encountered, they will be accompanied by a leader with 5+2 hit dice. The presence of the leader boosts metamorph morale to 12, but the leader quite often leads others away from combat. A metamorph makes saving throws as an 11th level wizard. Habitat/Society. A metamorph can shapeshift as often as 11 times per day, but it's limited to certain forms. This non-magical shapeshifting power gives metamorphs all the abilities of the new form, including special attacks. Metamorphs cannot take giant-sized or monstrous forms. Forms available to metamorphs are amphibian, bird, centipede, crustacean, fish, insect, leech, mammal, reptile, spider, and worm. A metamorph can turn into a category of form only once per day. For example, a metamorph might transform into a dog one day and a cat the next day, but it can become only one mammal per day. Each form lasts up to an hour, but the metamorph can voluntarily change earlier. Metamorphs reproduce like normal humans and live in clan strongholds far away from normal human society, though they have good relations with elves, halflings, and druids. Each stronghold is led by a leader with 5+2 hit dice, again with the leader. Ecology. Metamorphs act as a self-appointed protectors of the environment within a 5-mile radius of their stronghold. Polymar. Polymars are modestly intelligent creatures that can change shape in order to lure prey. In their natural form, they are shapeless brown masses. The polymar is closely related to the mimic and is apparently a more sociable version of the mimic. Polymars cannot communicate verbally, but seem to maintain a constant telepathic contact with other members of their pack. Some very rare packs have reportedly learned silent forms of communication, such as sign language or writing. Combat. Polymars can look like any creature with 10 or fewer hit dice or any object smaller than 100 cubic feet. That's a 10 by 10. Yeah, okay. Polymars do not gain the special abilities of their new form. Polymars of the same pack have a psychic rapport with one another and cooperate very closely. The strongest pack member, the one with the most hit points, is the leader. When the Polymar leader dies, the strongest living Polymar becomes leader. The form of the leader determines the form of each other pack member. If the leader imitates a piece of wooden furniture, so do all the other pack members. If the leader takes the form of a humanoid, so do all the other pack members. Members of the same pack attempt to match so that a pack imitating furniture might resemble a couch, 2 chairs, a table, and a coat rack, all the same apparent style. Interesting how they'd know that. A Polymar's change is far from perfect. For example, Polymars changed into humanoids tend to shamble about in seemingly random manner, and the wood grain of a Polymar changed into a chair may not look quite right. Opponents notice something unusual on a roll of 1 on a 1d6. Regardless of form, a Polymar that enters combat extrudes 3 pseudopods and attack with them, causing 1d6 points of damage with each hit. Polymars coordinate their attacks, all striking at the same time. They all attack the same opponent if the leader decides it is appropriate. A Polymar pack feeds by engulfing dead plants or animals, and an opponent slain by Polymars will be completely dissolved in 2d4 hours, leaving only non-organic material behind. Habitat/Society. Polymars are very social creatures with others of their same pack. They cooperate completely, following the dictates of their leader. Polymars reproduce by fission. All members of the pack reproduce at the same time after the pack has taken insufficient nourishment. If the pack was small, all the Polymars stay together. If the habitat cannot support increased numbers, half the Polymars form their own pack and seek new territory. Ecology. Alchemists and wizards covet polymar tissue for use in creating magical items and potions that involve shapeshifting or polymorphing. Randara. Randaras are evil beings of legendary power. They delight in using their shapeshifting to trap innocent folks as food. Their true appearance is unknown. They most often appear as humans or humanoids, but can also take on the shapes of small, cuddly animals. The form of the Randara is always size small or medium. Combat. A Randara's attacks varies with its chosen form. For example, in human form it uses weapons, but in the form of a dog it bites. Damage is calculated for the creature imitated. A Randara can change its form in one round, but it can take no other action in that round. It gains only movement and normal attack abilities of its chosen form. The Randara maintains its own natural armor class and gains none of the special abilities of its chosen form. Randaras can cast Charm Person once per day and ESP at will, casting at the 11th level of ability. Randaras are immune to 1st through 3rd level spells. They suffer only half damage for magic weapons. Non-magic weapons do not harm them. Habitat/society. Randaras are very fond of human flesh. They often take forms designed to catch humans off guard. Usually a Randara seeks out a human settlement and looks for someone with modest power and respect. After stalking the victim for weeks, using ESP to learn about the individual, the Randara murders its prey and impersonates the victim. Once established in a respectable position, the Randara can use its new identity to lure more prey. Ecology. Randaras are voracious hunters of human and demi-human flesh. They have no known natural enemies. Other than the heroes, of course. Well, that's how these kind of things go, right? Anyhow, my voice is going, and I think we're going to stop there. Thank you very much for your time today. I hope you appreciate it. Well, I know I do, but I hope you liked what we went over today. I think shapeshifters are kind of neat and useful aspect for a campaign in a different way. And hey, it's nice to see something that's not a mimic or a doppelganger, even if it is kind of like one. Anyhow, thank you very much for your time today, and I'm going to wish you a great day. Goodbye.